Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I decided I wanted to jump in for a minute and answer some financial questions. If you have any financial questions you'd like to ask me, just put them in the chat and I will answer your questions. If you've been following the stock market lately, you'll notice that the stock market has been kind of crazy, kind of on fire, a lot of volatility. You had a drop in the overall market today. But believe it or not, GameStop is actually holding up its value. Stocks like GameStop and I think even AMC. Let me check AMC. I'm going to check the price real quick. Give me a yes in the chat if you can hear me. If you have a question, put your question in. Just make it a one sentence question so I can answer it quickly. So quick questions get quick answers, and that way I can answer as many questions as possible. AMC is holding its value too. It's dropped a little bit though. It dropped by about $5 today, but it looks like right now it's up at 1461, which means AMC's 1 month return is about 455%. And that's pretty extraordinary. The 1 week return is 385%. Another stock that was kind of getting all this crazy speculation was Nokia. Nokia is holding stock. It's at 593. Its 1 week return is 41%. 1 month return is 51%. So Nokia hasn't moved as much as some of the others, but it's moved quite a bit. Should we buy GME or AMC tomorrow morning? Well, I don't give investment advice, right? I don't tell you what to do. I just rather would describe what I see and let you know what the pros and cons are, because nobody knows when this bubble is going to pop. Nobody knows when this is going to come to an end or not. So I would say if you buy at your own risk and be very careful, and just know um, that AMC and GameStop do not have fundamental valuations that match the current market price. So just be really careful about that. Let's see here. Robin Moore asks, "Can a person make money backing horses?" I have no idea, Robin. I'm from Kentucky, but which you would think I might know some about horses, but I've been to horse races, but I don't know anything about owning horses or backing horses, and I definitely don't. I wouldn't advise trying to make your living by gambling on horses. I don't know how that works. Ronald says, "I got in and out of AMC today, made money. Good for you." Yeah, I did the same thing. Let's see, Mark. How do I invest in T bills? You can go on these things like E Trade or TD Ameritrade. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know. You're not going to make a lot of money in T bills, but if that's something you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. DJ, do you think there will be crazy traffic on opening? Yes. There's a ton of volatility, a ton of trade, a ton of chaos, a ton of what we academic types call information dispersion, meaning that you have a lot of investors showing up who believe a lot of different things and a lot of crazy things are happening. Sean Grant, I salute you, Dr. Watkins. Thank you for what you do. I benefited tremendously from your classes in the Black Business School. All right. Well, thank you so much for that endorsement. I appreciate that. And anybody who wants to actually join my stock market investing program, which is very popular, a lot of people like it. The first month is free. So you can give it a try, see if you like it, and there's a money back guarantee. Feel free to go to theblackstockmarketprogram.com. Not only do I show my students exactly what I'm buying, but I also give you the answer every single question that every single student submits. And also there's literally hundreds of hours of really great content. So, and I teach a little bit different because, my PhD's in this stuff. So I like for you to understand things at a fundamental level. Let's see here. Next question. How was your day? Thank you, Chelly, for asking. My day has been very good. I wake up next to the most beautiful Black woman in the world. And I think Black women are the most beautiful women in the world, period. But my Black woman's real special, and I get to wake up next to her, and I got beautiful kids, and I'm happy about that. That's what keeps me happy. That's what keeps me going. Money is fine, but that's not what life's all about. It's about happiness. Corey, cruise lines. I like cruise lines. I have a lot of investments in cruise lines. How can I invest in marijuana? Says Mali. Well, there are a lot of cannabis companies out there. Tilray. I made a lot of money on Tilray. Lord, yes, I made a lot of money on Tilray. There's a lot of companies out there though, so I don't suggest leaning on one particular company. Maybe a diversified portfolio might be good. Ahikam says, "Can I purchase any shares of GameStop right now? If so, how?" Yeah, you can hop on like apps like Cash App, Robinhood, Stash, E Trade, Ameritrade, stuff like that. If you still haven't figured out how to buy your first share of stock and you're still trying to figure out how you can jump into the market, I have a training and also just a ton of free information you can get at firstshareofstock.com. Here you go. Here's the URL on the screen. So you can go to firstshareofstock.com and there's a free training right there. So feel free to get started over there. What's the best way to start in real estate as a passive income? I would say learn from people who are good with real estate, who just kind of know what's going on. That's pretty much it. I think learning from professionals is the best way to learn, not just from professors at universities, because they charge a lot of money. So we actually did a Black Real Estate Weekend. So if you want to see the recording, you can actually go to that URL, blackrealestateweekend.com. Let's see, next question. Tanya, is sand a good investment? Sand on the beach. I don't know much about that. If you're talking about the Sands Hotel, out in Vegas, I don't know much about that company, so I can't answer that question. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Ronald, is the kids business program good for a 17-year-old? Yes. We have tons and tons of teenagers. It's so good that a lot of adults even sign up, because our kids that go through our program actually have more financial literacy than their parents. So a lot of their parents are actually going through it also. And the best part is that it boosts your child's self-esteem, because when they're done and they go through the whole curriculum, they get a degree, like a certificate they can put on their wall, and it really shifts their mindset when it comes to ways to make money. They're not really thinking about getting jobs after that. They're actually thinking about building businesses and investing. There's the URL. It's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. So it's right there on the screen. Feel free to take a look. Let's see. Next question. Um, yes, on beach, says Tanya. I don't know much about buying sand on the beach. I wish I could tell you. I don't know much about it, Tanya. Joseph, is gold a good investment now? Well, gold is better than fiat currency, because your fiat currency is not backed by anything. So there are a lot of people that buy gold because they're worried that one day the dollar may be worthless, and I don't blame them, because they've abused the hell out of the dollar since 1971, when Richard Nixon took America's money off the gold standard, and they thought it was temporary. Everybody, all the experts who agreed to it, thought it was temporary, and it wasn't temporary. It's been like that for 50 years, and your dollar is worth less and less every year. It doesn't mean that you're in crisis mode, but it does mean that maybe some ownership of gold or real estate, or perhaps I like real estate as my hedge against the value of the dollar, because I believe that land is always going to have value, and then also even crypto to some extent is seen as a digital gold because it has limited supply, but crypto is still up in the air. There's still a little bit of a question, but I can tell you a lot of the leading experts are now buying crypto. And so that lends a little bit more legitimacy to crypto as a form of digital gold. Nadia, wait, I saw your question, Nadia. Here you go. When buying shares, what's a good amount to purchase, like 7, 20, or 41? It depends on which stock you're buying, Nadia. You don't have to buy any certain amount. Remember, you can buy fractional shares. So if I buy Amazon, and Amazon costs thousands of dollars a share, and I only have, say, $30, well, you can buy $30 worth of Amazon, just like you buy Bitcoin. So I wouldn't, um you know I wouldn't think of it in terms of number of shares. I would think of it more in terms of making sure your money's spread out. Don't put all your money in one place. That's a bad move. Let's see. Bryce asks, would you touch Game Stunk? I did touch it, and I made big money from it. So, but I got out. I'm not gonna sit around and wait for the music. It's a big game of musical chairs, and at some point the music's gonna stop, and I want to make sure I grab my chair before the music stops. So that means I took my money, got out of that sucker, and I bounced. But believe me, when a stock moves like that, and you know what you're doing, oh, it's raining money at that point. There's money on the floor. You got to go pick it up. I'm not telling you to pick it up. I'm saying I picked it up. I went and picked it up. Sean Grant, what are your thoughts on Palantir? I don't know much about Palantir. I wish I could tell you. I don't know much about all the individual stocks. There's thousands of them. But yeah, if I see something, I'll tell you. But I don't know much about it. Thoughts on Doggy Coin? I've heard people mention it, but I can't endorse it one way or the other. I don't have any investments in it. There's so many coins. That's the thing. And we do some crypto stuff where each week I'll have a crypto panel and some crypto experts that come through. And like there's one brother that comes through named Ian Balima. And Ian became famous because he turned $20,000 crypto investment into $5 million, and he did that publicly. So Ian comes in once a week, and actually, if you want to see the crypto that I own, there's a screenshot of my crypto portfolio. Just go sign up at drboycecrypto.com so you get free information from the Black Business School, and I will show you my crypto portfolio. The URL's right there on the screen. Ronald, what do you think about Bill Gates owning vast amounts of farmland? I'm kind of with everybody else wondering, like, what's going on. I don't understand why he's so heavily involved in things like vaccines and ownership of farmland and trying to control the food supply. I don't know. I can't explain. Where is the live feed coming from? I am in Chicago right now, so that's if that's the question you're asking. Current cloud. Let's see, Corey. So I have to get out the mindset of always thinking I got to buy 100 shares to make an investment. Yes, I don't. You don't have to buy 100 shares. You can buy, you can buy like one twentieth of a share. Just know that the idea of having to own a full share of anything is kind of dead. And also, the key idea is you spread your money out so you don't end up losing. What's the best thing to invest in right now? There's a lot of stuff out there, Shelly. But I think stocks are really they're one of the best games in town. But I wouldn't have all my money in the stock market if possible. I'd like to have my money spread out, because the stock market's going to go down. The stock market's going to crash at some point. It can't maintain what it's doing right now. Like, just know it can't maintain that. Is Bitcoin a good idea? I like Bitcoin. I'm a believer in Bitcoin. I believe it's going to go up to over 100,000. It's at 34,000, 35,000. So I just got my money sitting over there, and it's a long-term investment. It's always been a long-term investment. Mansour, thoughts on cybersecurity ETFs and stocks? Sure, why not? Cybersecurity is a big deal. I like cybersecurity. I think it's you got these cloud companies, and I think cybersecurity is going to become a bigger and bigger deal. So I don't see why not. It does not. This isn't to say that it's going to do better than other industries, but it definitely is better than things like, I don't know, oil. Hey, I mean, oil and fossil fuels. That's not a good place to put a lot of money because that there's not much future in that. But cybersecurity is okay. A lot of times it comes down to how it's priced. If something is overpriced, then it's not a good investment, even if it's a good industry. Remember, a good company is not a good investment necessarily. So you want to keep that in mind. It's like if I say, which would you rather buy, a Toyota Corolla or a Mercedes Benz? Well, you can't automatically say Mercedes Benz because it depends on the price, right? If I know you love Mercedes Benzes, then I might overcharge you. I might charge you $400,000 for a Mercedes. Well, that's a problem, right? So I wouldn't get caught up in, which company is better than another company. I would also make sure you consider the price, right? And that's really where good investing ends up coming into play, is finding things where the price isn't outrageous and there's long-term growth potential in the industry, things like that. And I'm more of an investor than I am a trader. I can do trading. I understand how traders think and how they operate. And unfortunately, traders, a lot of times they can become like gamblers. It's like gambling to some extent, and they'll tell you that it's not, but believe me, I've studied the science of this stuff like far deeper than most people. So I can just tell you, it's a lot like gambling. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just telling you this isn't exactly how you build up, your nest egg for your grandkids. So that's my 2 cents. Dontrell, is having more than 30 stocks in one portfolio too diversified? I don't think it is. I have more than 30. I just look for good stocks that are undervalued and add them to the portfolio. But if some people say when you hit about 20 or 25, that's when you're pretty well diversified. So anyway, I got to run out of here, guys. I just wanted to say hello. And actually, if you go to the drboycemethod.com, I actually have I did a weekend event where I actually laid out an 11-step methodology that I use to decide which stocks to add to my portfolio. So feel free to go to that URL right there on the screen if you'd like to take a look, and the recording's there if you'd like to, just see what we did that weekend. It was really good, actually. A lot of people liked it. Last question. Health Hut says, how long do you think it would take to become financially free? It depends on the situation. I believe in being consistent with your learning, and also learning different ways to make money so you can generate cash flow, and then learning how to keep that money and grow that money. Those are pretty much the key steps to people becoming wealthy. They figure out how to get cash flow, and then they figure out how to keep their money and grow their money. So they put their money into things that flip, things that will grow consistently, things that protect their assets. But you got to have protection. Like, you can't just go gunslinging. It's like football. The number one job of the quarterback is not to score touchdowns. The number one job of the quarterback is not to get the ball down the field. The number one job of the quarterback is to protect the ball. Because if you're fumbling the ball on every snap and you're throwing interceptions because you're rushing to get the ball down the field, then you can't win games. So financially speaking, same thing's true. You got to protect the ball. You got to protect your wealth before you can grow your wealth. And so a lot of people that you see, kind of gunslinging and taking these big risks, yeah, it's working out right now because the market's doing really well. It's easy to make money in the stock market. This is a baby's stock market. Like, it literally, a 2-year-old pet monkey with a mental deficiency can make money in the stock market. It takes no expertise at all to make money in this market. So when people say, "Oh, I made $10,000 last month," yeah, so did everybody else. Everybody's getting paid in the stock market. Just understand that. But just know that the real test will come when there's a major crash and when the market dips and it stays down for 2 or 3 years. That, my question will be, are you making money then? Are you still doing well then? That's when you find out who really knows what they're doing and who doesn't. So don't get caught up in the hype. I mean, right now everybody's winning. It's easy to make money in this market. That's just my 2 cents. All right, so I got to bounce. Have a good night, everybody, and I'll be back tomorrow to cover some stuff. So make sure you subscribe and all that good stuff. And there you go, the drboycemethod.com. Feel free to go take a look at that. At that at that URL. Shelly says it's just like sex. You got to know when to pull out. Okay. All right. So Shelly is here getting freaky on the financial conversation. So we know where your mind is, ma'am. Your mind is in the gutter, ma'am. Get your mind out the gutter, girl. Anyway, y'all have a good night and love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Talk to you soon. Peace.